Hello and good afternoon, everybody. Hi there. So, today we're starting a class that will last through tomorrow. It's a two-part class, and it's on because it's something that comes up quite a bit um, within well with a lot of different people that I've talked to and call me, and you know. But I'm doing a class on healthy relationships and how to have a healthy relationship, and in particular when it comes to kind of boyfriend girlfriend relationships, things like that, and what to look for, signs of a good relationship, also signs that a relationship might not be so good, but really what you want to find is a healthy relationship with somebody. And so I'm going to go over some things. So this is part one, and I'm going to go over some things first. um, is finding someone in a way, how to, and making sure that that person is someone that is available, because this has happened a lot that I've seen throughout time with friends here and other places, where there's this thing where people develop feelings for someone or start to, and they find out that the feelings can't be requited or it's unrequited, and that the person's either not interested, which I found out, is already in a relationship, or is a relationship that can't happen based on, like, say it's a student teacher relationship, something like that. Or even when it comes to, I ran into this, not as much, but when it's people fall in love with like celebrities and they really feel like, oh, this is the ideal person for me. There's a whole famous thing with um, the guy, I can't remember his name right now, but the guy who tried to assassinate President Reagan. He had an unrequited relationship and love for Jodie Foster, and he said that that's why he shot the president. And so it's those sorts of things where you hit this, and it's a difficult feeling to deal with. So as we go through this, we're going to start out first to, how do you find somebody, but also really this class is more focused on what happens when you have those feelings for somebody and it's hard to move past, because sometimes people, what they do is they idealize that person, and they idealize what it's going to be like to be in a relationship with just that person, even though it it can't happen. So how do you get through those feelings? And pretty much, I mean, many people have felt this. So there's somebody in your mind, and even though they don't feel the same way, we still feel the desire to build a relationship. So this is kind of an article that I found on this. And loving someone you can't have can take a toll on your mental health, and longing to be with them can be heart wrenching. Can be heart wrenching. This type of emotional turmoil can feel unrelenting at times, which basically just means it doesn't stop. The feeling just continues, and you just like, these feelings are never going to go away. But while you may feel that hope is lost, it's important to remember this person ultimately only plays a small role in the timeline of your life. And it's true. If you think about any crush you've had at some point, you probably had lots of crushes throughout your lives. All of us have. Through grade school, whenever you first start having crushes, all the way through until now. Most of the grade school ones that I can think of that I ever had, I don't even remember who it was. I know that I had them, but I can't think of a specific person right now. I really can't, and so it's a small segment of time, but it feels like an intense period of time. But really, if you look at it, it's a small period of time. So even if you're loving with someone you can't have, there are plenty of ways to work with your brain, not against it, to stop loving them. So we're going to learn 5 ways to get past unrequited love, and how to move the right way. There's some experts on this subject. They both have their PhD in psychology. So there's Jeremy Nicholson and Chloe Carmichael, and these are the two people. that have really gone through this. And like I said, they have their PhD, which is a long time and a lot of study in order to figure these out. So, first thing of the 5 ways, work through your feelings. When you love someone you can't have, it's common to bury your feelings in an effort to avoid the painful realities of your situation. It may seem easier to push these feelings of grief away, but working through the loss is an important step to get past the longing. I do remember I did have a crush in high school, and it was tough because I think they knew that I liked them, and so they could kind of, play around with it a little bit. But after a while, and I was like, this is, I think it's a great match. And then after a while, like, remember, I was hanging out with my friend, and she happened to be there, and she was being nice, and I was like, oh, that's weird. And then suddenly she just flipped a switch and was really rude to us because another friend had called on the phone or something. And after that, I don't know what it was. It was like, I don't need this person. What am I wasting all my time for? And it was nice, but it's important to push through that, not to just kind of get bogged down in it and focus on it. Like, oh, it's gonna happen, because sometimes it just doesn't. So, number 1, work through your feelings. And sometimes we feel unrequited love because the potential partner seems so attractive and valuable to us. Other times we feel unrequited love because we think an actual relationship might be possible, although not assured. This can happen when there's a friendship with mixed signals. My apologies. Or we misconstrue the interest of somebody else. So sometimes you might think that somebody has feelings for you, and you just misconstrue it, and they don't. Sometimes they might be nice, and it can be misconstrued as, oh, they like me. And it's like, no, they're actually just being nice, because people are nice. And so whether you're still in love with your ex, crushing on someone who's unavailable, or feeling rejected, taking the time you need to acknowledge your feelings and feel your emotions is crucial to the process of moving on. Sometimes you might even find that the attraction isn't based on the individual, but actually the desire to be in a relationship. So this does happen. So sometimes it's not even just that person, it's just that you really want to be in a relationship, and that's understandable. So we may feel unreciprocated love simply because we enjoy the feeling. This can happen when we are in love with the idea of love itself, or an idealized soulmate rather than the real person. And that happens a lot. So people just want to be in love, and then they idealize like the perfect person rather than who the actual person is. You can idealize somebody and be like, oh, this is the person for me, and then you actually get in a relationship with them, and you're like, they're awful. There's so many facets to this person that I didn't realize. I don't like it all. So that's why it's important to be friends first. Really get to know the person. See if it is compatible. If you're just thinking, oh yeah, there's no way that this person has flaws. Everybody has flaws. Everybody. So that's a good thing moving into a healthy relationship. Realizing we all have flaws. Second thing, focus on yourself. When was the last time you did something nice for yourself? Rather than devoting your emotional energy to thinking of someone else, try to focus on the first person who deserves your love, which is you. Part of why breakups can be so painful is that everything in our current environment reminds us of our ex, says Carmichael. It can sometimes seem as if everything in our life reminds us of that person. One way to change this is to deliberately create new experiences to help the old memories start to recede. New experiences can also subtly reassure us that there are other possibilities in life. Yeah, so creating new memories. When a relationship's over, it's over. And it's tough to move past. But once it's over, it's time to start creating new memories. Do something nice for yourself. Take care of you, is what it is. This isn't a time for getting lost in the memories, it's time for making new ones. Concentrate on your personal happiness, mental health, and physical well-being. By comparing yourself and practice acts of self-love and care, you can put focus to better use by improving your own life. So make yourself better, stronger from the situation. When you make yourself a priority again, you're taking a major step in dealing with unrequited love. And don't be afraid to try something new, like traveling, signing up for a new fitness class, or learning a new skill or hobby you've always been interested in. Hence the class yesterday on 100 things you can do during the pandemic. When you're at home, you can come up with new hobbies and impress people. Once, you're out about, say, this is what I learned how to do during the pandemic. And make a healthy use of your time and allowing yourself to let go of hurtful memories. And this one is very important. I think it's number 4. Make time for friends and family. When you're going through difficult times in life, whether you're in love or not, your support system can make it a lot easier. Instead of spending time alone and shutting the world out, now is a good time to reach out to the people that you care about. And you never know who that might be. Remember when I broke up with an ex of mine? A couple of friends came out of the woodwork that I was like, I didn't even know you cared about me that much. But it was because I kind of reached out to them, and then they really helped me through that situation. Your friends and family can offer support, guidance, and love. By being around people with positive energy who have your best interest, you can reshape your mindset and embrace their optimistic outlooks. Oh, sorry, this is number 3. So, and we're not meant to grieve alone, so consider making sure you're always with a supportive friend or family member when you're really feeling that way. And close relationships can be a great emotional resource, and they'll provide you with insight and direction when it comes to moving on. And you never know the good advice that you're going to get from a friend. 4th thing, and then we have one more. Don't be so hard on yourself. When you love someone you can't have, it's not uncommon to feel frustrated with yourself for not getting over them yet. But remember that the process of healing takes time. And rather than setting high expectations for yourself, it's okay to be proud that you were open to love in the first place. If you thought your ex was perfect, or somebody else that you couldn't be with was perfect, but you couldn't be with them, or they broke up with you out of the blue, you might consider focusing on their inability to make or keep a commitment to you. Whether you're in a committed relationship or not, it's helpful to remember that the person you love is an individual. They might not be interested in a relationship with you, or they may simply not be with the right mindset for romance to begin with, or they're already in a relationship. While it's okay to have feelings for this person, you have to make peace with the situation, accept the reality. But remember that it can take time. Don't be hard on yourself if you're not entirely over them. These transitions don't happen overnight. And finally, this is the most important one. Obviously, they always end with the most important, at least I think. Don't give up on love. They're just one person. One of the most important takeaways from dealing with unrequited love is the understanding that you will find love again. While it may feel like a happy relationship just isn't in the cards for you, that simply isn't the case. Sometimes we may obsess about the past as a way to avoid re-entering the dating world, because on a certain level we're afraid of repeating whatever potential mistakes that may have led to our current situation. So be it with a breakup or with somebody that you've idealized love with, don't give up on love. Doesn't mean these feelings aren't worth having. They are. But there's somebody out there that really deserves them and needs them as well. If you think this might be the case, make sure you find ways to learn from your past relationship and have support as you ponder dating again. Self-care and stronger relationships with friends and family can speed up the process. Once you're confident in your daily life again, it won't be so difficult to open up to new people. Take a moment to think about it. If you can feel this much love for someone you're not with, the amount of love you'll feel in the right relationship will exceed these feelings in the best way. So yeah, that's a good point. Think about that. If you're really in love with somebody and it's not the right one, not the right person, but you still feel this much love, think how much more you're going to feel once you're in that right relationship. So rather than giving up on love, look forward. It's okay to let this person go in favor of excitement for meeting the next person. While it wasn't meant to be this time, it's only a step in the process of finding what's best, and it'll be even better after looking back on this experience. And it's true. Everything's a learning experience. So, that's the first part of the class. Finding the right healthy relationship. And really, this is more talking about being okay with yourself. Make sure that you're ready and you've taken the right self care and you feel strong enough to go out there and date and be ready. Not so much for rejection, but for the possibility of anything. So just be ready and be happy that you have a chance to love, that we do, and we're all in that place that we can. So this has been part one. We'll move into part two tomorrow, and that's the signs of a good relationship and a healthy relationship. All right, I'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a wonderful rest of your afternoon.